Helldivers started logging on this morning, hoping and praying that the moment was at hand where Arrowhead delivered some much-needed in-game performance relief. What they were met with was total and absolute silence. With everything currently ongoing, the studio's only card to play was to send us back to take on a familiar foe while doing little to handle the community's concerns. If you're new here, please hit subscribe and ring the notifications bell to receive my future upload alerts. And here it all comes. Everything we got today from Helldivers. Okay, as you start logging in today, you're going to notice the major order completed message pop up, and if you haven't already maxed out your medals, 55 of those babies will be deposited into your medal count. And that's because we were indeed successful over on the bot front, liberating all the way up to Mentoria while also holding 𝗛𝗆𝗆 in the Terminate Zone. Of course, 𝗛𝗆𝗆 is a key strategic point for us because there we have Outpost Alpha, which has now been improved up to Gloom Base Alpha, including things like interconnected underground complexes, reinforced walls, rupture strain detection networks, improved spore-proofing dormitory ventilation deodorizers. Yeah, if you've ever been in a high school locker room, you know how those smell. And of course, planet surface periscopes for recreational use. Of course, we'll need Gloom Base Alpha and 𝗛𝗆𝗆 when we once again get sent into 𝗛𝗆𝗆𝗃𝗃 and need a jump-off point to begin our assault. So, if you were there and putting in time over on the automaton major order, fighting not only the bots but the bugs, and not the Terminate kind, GG's to you, and enjoy the sweet taste of democracy's finest. But Helldivers' work is never finished, and our latest task has been revealed as we are being sent to once again do battle with the squid. Now, according to this latest briefing, High Command has approved a number of improvements to the DSS, including a quintuple coat of spore-resistant polymers, an atmospheric autoclave, and more. The only catch is that the best place to apply this new coating to the DSS is the planet 𝗛𝗆𝗆𝗃𝗃 because it possesses the ideal gravitational and atmospheric conditions, meaning we're going to be sent to take on the Illuminate with a 7-day major order to liberate Allaraf, Hydrobius, and 𝗛𝗆𝗆𝗃 with the added task of still maintaining control of 𝗛𝗆𝗆𝗃. Now, all three of these squid planets have fairly low regen rates right now, but there is a twist to this MO because we can't yet get to any of them without taking a connecting planet, which at this time looks like it will be Alamac 7. But the diver forces right now also seem to be divided at the moment, with a strong force still pushing hard over on Seychelles Beach, aided by the DSS. Now, I'm thinking that once it is taken, those divers will then transfer over to Alamac 7 and begin the task of taking that one and then into the 3 planets that are part of the MO. It also looks like the DSS will be transferring to Alamac 7 based on Helldiver voting in just under 4 hours to aid the Helldivers as they begin the task of liberating and holding 4 squid planets over the next 7 days. Now, I also wanted to quickly move over and touch on the known issues board, which you've heard me mention here many times in my Helldivers videos that I posted. Well, it looks like Helldivers is going to be moving away from Zendesk and will instead be pushing all of this over into their official Helldivers Discord, as found by 𝗍𝒃, a member of my Discord who had just submitted a ticket for review, and here's the response he got. Greetings, Helldivers. We are starting to utilize a new bug reporting tool on our official Discord. Going forward, could you please submit all of your bug reports through here? And they attach a link to Discord. Thank you again for the diligent work you have done in reporting these to us. Now, 𝗍𝒃 then went on to ask if we are being required to submit in Discord, which currently has a 1 bug a day reporting limit. Would it be removed with the Zendesk site now being shut down? To which he did receive an answer. Here's what they said. The support team does not have anything to do with the Discord. You would be better off asking our community managers, Baskinator or Mitchimus in the Discord about this. Maybe this is why the Zendesk site, and more specifically the known issues board, has not been updated in 7 days' time, even with everything that's currently ongoing in the game. Also, does this mean that Zendesk will be sunsetted with all duties then being shifted over to Discord? If so, what happens to those Helldivers community members who don't Discord? Know what I mean? How will they submit a ticket? And am I reading this incorrectly and Zendesk will instead be left intact? I don't know. Drop a comment and let me know if I'm reading this right, or if I'm not, how does it read for you? And finally, and I guess I would add in unfortunately, the news for today is that we received no news. No updates about performance from the comms team like 𝗏𝗃𝗍𝗃 or 𝗛𝗏𝗻𝗆. No surprise visit from Shams, the CEO, holding an informal QA session. And outside of the success briefing in the new major order, it continues to be full-on comms dark from Arrowhead. Now, with everything we've been hit with ever since Into the Unjust went live, from the crashes, the freezing during missions, the rupture strain host shenanigans, sound cutouts, etc., I fully expected someone somewhere within Arrowhead to step up to the mic and at least give us a, hey, we know it's really bad right now, trust us, we're on it, let us cook, you won't be disappointed message, which would not have placated the entire community, but at least it would qualify as something. And, you know, as I think about it, I could sit here and go full nuclear, dropping F-bombs every 5 words, but as the meme goes, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. And I'm going to inject this thought now into the video here, and it's actually more of a question, but how does Arrowhead, a small, independently owned and operated studio that claims to be on the forefront of taking player feedback into account, how does that studio get put to shame by the likes of Bungie, a fully Sony-owned and operated enterprise? Because I'm still trying to wrap my head around this one. Bungie screws up weekly, usually taking action within the game that is very counter-player. They get slammed for it by the community, and they end up walking back those changes. But it feels like every time they wet the bed, and that's pretty much every week for Bungie, they have either a 𝗛𝗏𝗹𝗶𝘀𝗲 or a �twid all lined up and ready to go. And for those of you who don't know, those stand for This Week at Bungie, 𝗏𝗏𝗹𝗏𝗏, or This Week in Destiny, �twid. And they can poop these things out with so much speed. But here again, with small, independently owned Arrowhead, knowing what the state of the game is currently at, knowing that the players have reached their boiling point, we don't get so much as a peep through any of the official channels. And there's no way someone out there can tell me, well, it's because Bungie has less red tape to clear with legal than Arrowhead, and that's why they're faster, because that argument simply doesn't hold water. Just stepping back and trying to take stock of everything that's gone down over the past 3 weeks, and first off, we've got the new Into the Unjust content to take on over on 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. You can go hit it right now, and virtually nobody is doing it. Rupture Strain are still set to be gone for what? Another 4 weeks time? Dragoons are still causing issues with spawn rates and invisible fire AoE, and a lot more on the bug side. Over on the bots, they seem to be terribly spiking performance metrics, causing freezes while in combat, and both factions are seeing their fair share of crash ups and just full lockups, which apparently left Arrowhead with really their only move remaining to send us down to take on the squids once again. Now, I wanted to say I played a few rounds this morning with 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and I saw 0 issues with freezes or crashing. I'm not saying you won't, I'm just saying that personally I did not see it. But I want to add on, I was not hosting the session. And don't get me wrong, I'm not dunking on the Illuminate. They're not my favorite, but you know, I don't mind them. I know some players take issues with their designs, like the flying overseers, flesh mobs, and of course 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏s. And I'll stop right there and say that the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏s are a downright nuisance, but you know, with a little tweaking to your builds like a wasp or maybe several medium pin turrets, much of the Illuminate nonsense can be hard countered. So again, it looks like it's calamari for the next week, but yeah, I think the big story here is the fact that we needed you, Arrowhead. We were counting on you to step up to the mic. We were counting on you to admit to the faults and to give us some sort of hope and action plan for the game's future, and you did none of that. You seriously dropped the ball here. I mean, that is the kindest way I can put it right now. And, you know, who knows what the rest of the week will bring, because anything is better than what we got today, which was nothing. Drop a comment about anything Helldivers related, and I will of course do my best to respond. If you're looking for a community to dive with, check in the video description for an open invite link to my Discord, where we are always there and ready to assist. Remember to hit subscribe and to ring the notifications bell to receive my future upload alerts. And until the next one, this is 𝗛𝗲𝗹𝗶𝘀𝗃𝗃𝗁 signing off.